Hey YouTube, welcome back. What's up? My name is Korax. I am the Bearded Boomer, and this is going to be part 4 of our Learning Tarkov with the Bearded Boomer series. So in the last couple of episodes, we've been talking about getting your account set up, inventory management, doing your first couple of quests, doing your scav runs, and which guns can carry you through the very early game when you have stage 1 traders. Now, this guide is going to focus on how to make some rubles, how to make some money in the game, because there is a good chance that if you're a newer player, you might end up going broke or going near broke, and that can be very intimidating for people because what do you do then? I can't buy any gear, I can't buy any guns. What do I do to get started again? What do I do to get back up and running? So that is what this guide is going to be about. And without further intro, let's get right into it. So let us pretend for a moment that situation has gotten dire. We've been in a very bad streak of raids. We've lost all our gear. We've lost all our guns. We hardly have any money left, and we're kind of struggling on what to do next. Okay, and so the first couple of things that we're gonna do is the idea is going to be we're going to invest as little as we can into our loadout and hopefully get out with as much loot as possible. And then we're also going to aim at looting the spots on the maps where there's money to be made. We cannot go around just picking off scavs and hoping that they spawn with something good, because they hardly ever do. Looting random things is not going to get us anywhere fast. So we're gonna focus on doing some efficient looting and trying to get the best stuff out of the raid. Okay, so what do we do? Okay, so pretty much the only things you're going to need for this is a pretty sizable backpack. Anything like Burkut size, daypack size, or larger will definitely do. If you don't have any of those left anymore, you can always go to Ragman and you can buy one for 23k rubles. This is definitely worth its money. If you're really strapped on cash, just go with the MBSS backpack. It's also fine. Anything to get the ball rolling again, anything to get rubles flowing into our coffers is going to work. So slap on a backpack. If you're lucky and you still have a decent sized rig, like slap that on. Like for example, if you have an azimuth, that is definitely a good one. Lots of space. We just need more spaces to cram stuff in, because we're basically going to try and see if we can find the smallest loot possible with the highest value per slot. So that's the basic setup. And then just go in with a pistol. Go in with a pistol so that you can hopefully deal with scavs that you're going to come across. And I mean, you can also get lucky and just win fights from players with a pistol if you're a good shot, or if you get lucky, or if you get the drop on them. And then you can just steal all of their shit and start your snowball from there on out. I'm personally not a fan of hatchet running because, first of all, it's just not... It doesn't fit the theme of the game and the realism of the game. Nobody is going to go into a war zone with nothing but a hatchet and hopefully get out with like a graphics card or a physical Bitcoin. That just doesn't make any sense. If you're going into an active war zone, always bring a gun. So my idea on that is just always bring a pistol, and yeah, at least you'll be able to defend yourself from like scavs or anything. Don't worry about putting a helmet on your head. Don't worry about armor, because anything that we add to this loadout right now is just going to drive the cost up, and we are aiming to make the biggest profit we can per run. So that's why we're running really light. We're just slapping on a rig. We're just slapping on a backpack. We're grabbing a pistol with a couple of mags. You can always jam some spare ammo in your pouch. Maybe have some meds there, you never know. And you could also choose to keep this pouch empty if you're like, okay, I don't care if I start getting hurt, or if I die, I just die. I don't care about it. You can leave it empty, and that way you can always choose to put really valuable loot up in your safe container and at least get that out and sell it to vendors for rubles. All right, basic setup. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 2 different ways on 2 different maps that you can go about doing this. Like the first that I'll show you is we take our PMC, we're going on customs, and what I will show you will be a hidden caches run. So on customs there is a bunch of hidden caches, and the thing is, a lot of the hidden caches are also around places where there's other valuable loot. So let's go about and see if we can find a couple of routes that will efficiently farm some hidden stashes. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show this in an offline raid, because this is all about where the loot is, how to find it, and how to efficiently path through it. So let's go into an offline raid. We're not even gonna put any scavs in there. And then we just load in, and I'll see you guys when we've loaded in. All right, little intermission here, guys. So I originally planned to make this looting video into one video, but after reviewing all of the footage that I just shot, I realized that I had too much footage to cram into one video. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna split this up into two parts. The first part, the part that you'll be seeing today, will be the part where I go about the hidden caches on customs and basically some of the other good loot spawns on customs to get you comfortably looting on customs. And then next week, I'll show you the second round, which is going to be a route on woods. I just wanted to put that out there because you're gonna hear a couple of references throughout the video about talking about two ways, and then at the end of the video you're gonna be like, wait, you only showed us one way. That's the reason for it. Next week will be part two. You can also see it in the title. This is part one. Next week will be part two. So just so you guys know. Now let's get back into the video. All right, and here we are. So we have spawned in the central warehouse, pretty central on the map. Which isn't too bad because on this spot right here, you can already find a lot of good loot. Like, for example, this is a nice start. 2 pots of termite, that's definitely worth some money. I think NaCl is worth something. There's a jacket to check here. As you can see, there's also, like, this is a camera spawn. This doesn't really matter, so you might as well just not pick it up. What other things you have? There's a weapons case right over here that you can check if you spawn here. And then there's also one in the back here. Now it's always a good idea when you find a rig like that in a container, always check it because it does occasionally spawn with cards or keys in it. So be sure to check those. All right, and then we're gonna try and start a decent route from here on out. So what I'm gonna do is, if you come out here and you go to the right here in this pit, you can already see it right there. There's a hidden stash right here. And basically, hidden stashes, the thing with them is they can have very high value loot, but they are very random. So there's a big chance that if you're following this guide, some of the time you're gonna have like great results, and then sometimes some of the runs are going to be a little bit on the lower side. But the thing is, it's pretty low risk for potentially really high reward. Okay, now you could go in here. You don't have to do this. There's a couple of spawns here. Like, as you can see, there's a tech spawn right here. That got us a couple of thermometers. Sometimes something spawns in the back of this car. There's something that... This is a spawn place that you can check. There's a box in here. For example, we found an MCX, not bad. Could have picked up the gunpowder as well, but this is an offline raid. There's a jacket here. Always check jackets, especially if you're still looking for keys or you need some of your quest keys and stuff like that. Always check those. They spawn a ton of keys. All right, and then we continue onwards. The next interesting building to go check is the one straight ahead right there. There's a couple interesting spawns in here. If you go up into that room, I wonder why the game is always giving me thunder and rain when I'm trying to do guides. It's... Thanks, Nikita. So, okay, here you have 2 computers that you can check. Remember, computers have a chance of spawning GPUs. So if you have time, it's never bad to check them. Now, granted, the chance is pretty low. There's a duffel bag right over here. There's a toolbox here. Another toolbox right here. You can see that there's definitely a lot of tech spawns around here. There's a med bag right here that you can check. There's a jacket right here. And right here. And you can also... I've never really seen anything useful spawn around these areas, but there's another duffel bag over there. And then, like, the valuable spawn in this building is going to be across in the other room over there. Oh, let's head up these stairs. You can check this room. This has 2 jackets right here and here. This is a food spawn, and I've also seen... Oh, there we go. On this thing, you can have a gold spawn. Or a valuable spawn, I mean. I've also seen things like booze in here. So if vodka or whiskey can spawn, there's also a chance that it spawns moonshine. The big money here is if we go into this room. There we go. We go here. This mannequin can spawn a Rolex on this wrist. And then there's also a valuable spawn behind here. Like I found horses there and other things. All right, that was that building. Now, from here on out, there's definitely some interesting work to be done. Like, we're gonna run into the next building over there, because there's a dead scav in there, and dead scavs can spawn anything, pretty much. So whenever you have the possibility to check a dead scav, it is never a bad idea. Some hose. Like you can see, pretty random variety. There's also a box up here, a toolbox, and then there's also 2 more boxes that you can check up there, but they're not always worth your time, so that's up to you whether you want to check them. There's one over here. Which is not the greatest, and then you can see one over there. You just go that way. You go up the stairs on that side, and then you go there. And you can loot that. Now, from here on out, however, we can definitely start a good run for secret stashes, because there's a lot of them close to us right now. We're gonna go over here. There's a hidden stash right here. As you can see, pretty random. And this building also has a lot of interesting loot. Check on these boxes. There's a food crate you can check here. Or a tick crate, my bad. And then this is the main building where you're gonna find interesting stuff. So there's 2 jackets right here that you can check. There's this box right here. There's a valuable spawn, so look around here. Nothing here right now. And then there's computers. There's 2 toolboxes that you can check here as well. On the ground here in front of this thing, you can also find some tick spawns. Moving on. Going to the back side of this building. Hidden stash right here. As you can see, it can wildly vary while we're grabbing. Then we're gonna just run straight across here, because there's another hidden stash in the corner over there. There we go. All of our secret stashes are spawning pistols today. Unlucky, like I said, RNG. We're gonna come around here. And so you will run this way because there's another hidden stash in the bush over here. There you go. Sometimes controls get a little bit wonky. Duffel bag right here. Food spawn. Toolbox right here. There's often weapon pieces spawn here. Weapon pieces spawn there as well. Moving on to the next hidden cache, which is going to be all the way over there in the back corner. Yeah, our character still has Timmy legs. We still need to train those up, of course, which is why we can't sprint really long, even though we're just rocking a pistol. So, you can already see it. Hidden stash right here. Along the way, like, if this happens to you and you're just constantly finding food and water, remember to just use it, because it's going to level up your metabolism skill anyway. So if you're safe and you're not hearing anything around you, just pop it. Of course, if you think you're going to be in the raid for a little while longer, just keep it on you. And then you can always just chug it later. Then there's a couple more hidden stashes up here. This one right here sometimes is a little bit hard to find if it's the first time that you're looking for it. So the way I did it is, you see those rocks over here? There's like this little passage through between the rocks that you get right here. There. If you have this tree and you just straight, you have the tree to your back and you just start running straight towards the other tree, the big one here. And then right beside it, there's your stash. Loot that one. This one's nice and full. Oh, well, it has a backpack. Jebaited. Alright, nothing in it. So we'll just grab that. Identify what we can and move on. There's another hidden stash this way. So that's that rocky passage again. We slip through these rocks behind here. And then in the corner. Right over here. Oh, I was looking for the wrong type. Then we're going to run to the little camp over here with the electricity tower or mast. And then on this side of the wall, right here, we have another one. Oh, a phase. Not bad. Let's make some room for it. And then in this camp, you can definitely look around for some other things, because there's a weapon case right here. Never know what you can find in here. Then there's a toolbox right here. Random stuff can spawn up here. There's a med case right here. Another crate here. And then we can move down to the gas station, because that has a couple of hidden caches as well. First one's gonna be behind on the outside of the wall here, in that corner over there behind the trees. You can already see it. Here we go. Finding all of the pistols today, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna move around here. Because, of course, I'm going to show you some looting that you can do in the gas station as well. Although, you would require some keys. But the keys, it's pretty easy to get them, so... You can always check the back of the van. There's stuff that spawns here. I mean, the ambulance. That can also spawn you a pretty valuable key. And then, in here, if you go through this room... If you have the gas station keys, you can open up this little room, which has a med spawn and a med bag in it. And then the big one is the gas station office, because behind this door, there's a vault and a GPU spawn. So if you have the keys, definitely open this up. Check out the vault inside. Oh, there we go. There's the duffel bag in here, and there's a random spawn on this table right there. Oh, and that's right. I even forgot about a hidden stash loot behind here in the bushes. There we go. Right here. As you can see, nice big rig. Nothing in it, however. Let's see. This one has 20 spaces. This one also has, so it's not really worth it. What you can do, however, to save space, if your backpack is going to, well, the contents of your backpack allow it, is get everything into the rig and stuff the rig in your inventory right here. So let's see. For example, if we start doing that, we're just gonna toss this pistol because it ain't worth that much. Check everything in there. Do a little bit of loot Tetris, and whoppa. And we just made more space for ourselves. So, let's optimize what we're doing here. Do it like that. And put that there, and there we go. That's filled up as well. And then another thing, definitely worth checking around here. That white car over there, in the trunk is a valuable spawn as well. People have been reporting things like gas analyzers and stuff like that in the back here, so it's always worth, if you're just passing by, just open it up, have a quick little look, and move on. Alright. Let's move on towards the next set of hidden caches. We're gonna move out the back of gas here. We're gonna cross the rails. And then by this light pole right here, there's a stash. We're starting a nice little collection of vases. Now, money is really only worth picking up when it starts to get a lot. However, if you have some spare spaces in your rig, just, you know, pick it up. You can always drop it later if you're not finding enough of it. Let's move out of this area to the next one. So here's the little bus compound thing, and there's a couple of stashes around here. One you can find right here with the little wood on the ground at the tree. Well, since we're not wearing a helmet, we might as well slap that baby on. Oh, we can't because of the headset. I'd prefer the headset, to be honest. Then, moving to the front, there's a cache in these tires right here. You want a Glock, you pick up a Glock. Moving along here. Then the next one is right in here, in this blue container. There you go. And so at this point, like if your bags are starting to fill up, you just take a look at what my extraction is and you try to get out. Now, of course, there's a bunch of valuable loot to be found in the dorms area. However, looting dorms, because it's a very high PvP area, is definitely not something you want to do at this point. If you're broke and you're pistol running to just try and get some money, you don't really want to go to dorms. Because what will most likely happen is you'll just get murdered really quickly. And you can just reload back in. There's another hidden stash close here. Now, this one is one that I hardly ever check, and the reason for it is that it's really annoying to get to. And this is often a pretty contested area, because what you have to do is you need to, like, crouch under here, and then you're traveling for 3 years for that little cache back there, which is honestly not really worth it, especially not you're very close to Fortress or Alamo, depending on who's naming it. Which is often a contested area as well. But for the sake of completeness, I'm showing you its location. You can already feel like the time that it took us to get to that stash and back out, it's not worth it. Now, for the sake of completeness, I'm actually going to show you all of the caches in this one run. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move to old gas right now. Okay, so then what I'll do after this raid, this offline raid, I will put up a map and I will draw a couple of routes that you can do depending on spawn points, which caches to hit, because it's not really realistic that you're gonna be hitting all of the caches all of the time. That's just not going to work, because if you spawn on one side of the map, somebody's going to loot the ones on the other side of the map. So, you know, it's all about efficient pathing, but I will show you all of them in this one video. When we're here, always check beneath the tree here, because this is called Giving Tree. Anything can spawn here, anything and everything. Right now, it's just a little helmet, but there's been labs cards, all that good stuff. Then there's a cache in the corner here. Ooh, golden rooster. See, this is the good type of problem. Too much loot. And then when you're close to old gas, always make sure to run in. Because this table right here can spawn anything. It can spawn anything in the entire game. If you find backpacks or rigs on top of there, make sure to check them out, because they have been known to spawn with key cards in them and stuff like that. But it's definitely worth checking. A lot of good stuff can come from that. Alright, moving on to the next hidden stash. Come on, Timmy Legs, run. Okay, so this is another little high density loot area. You can already see the stash in the bushes right here. And then there's a dead scav right there that you can loot. Like I said, they can spawn anything. And there's also a dead scav right there. Now, that position is a little bit dangerous, because people looking from Fortress looking this way will be able to spot you pretty easily and shoot you. So if you're hearing gunshots, I wouldn't check it. Another hidden spawn over here. Nice and full one as well. Remember, check the insides. Never lucky. Moving on. In previous videos, we've already talked about Crack House and the loot that you can find over there, so I'm not going to go in there to show you. Another hidden stash here is hidden pretty close. Since we have some extra energy drain, I'm going to see if I can find some food in here real quick. hidden stash right here. Moving this way. Behind that blue container over there is a little pack you can check. Duffel bag, that was the word I was looking for. Boy, oh boy, is my character tired. Alright, next two hidden stashes. One in the bushes over there. One over there. Right here. And then I'll show you the next one as well. Right here. And then that is all of your hidden caches on customs. Now, of course, like I said during the run, you're not going to hit all of the stashes in one go. It's all going to be about where do I spawn on the map and how do I pick up the most caches the most efficiently while moving roughly in the direction of one of my outs. So here we have a map, and what this map is showing basically is all of the spawn points on customs that you can have as a PMC, and it's also showing all of the cache locations on the map. So what we'll do is we'll make a couple of different routes depending on roughly the area where you spawn and which caches to efficiently farm and pick up extra loot on, like I showed you in the raid before. Now, for the first one, let's actually start all the way on this side of the map. You can see that there is a bunch of potential PMC spawns here, and you also see that on this side of the map there is simply not a single cache available. So for all of these, we're basically roughly going to take the same route. Let me just grab a marking tool here. And it's roughly all going to be the same. If you're on this top side, what you can do is you can move Now for all of these spawns on this side of the map, you're roughly going to do the same thing. You're going to find a place to cross. That can be the bridge, that can be this part, that can be this crossing, whichever one is safest for you at that time. And what you're going to do is you're either going to be moving over here and then moving like this way towards these two caches. You can also just do it like this and then hit these two caches. If you're coming from the bottom side, you're crossing here, you go into these two caches. We hit both of these caches and then we move up. Now you can move up this way, go behind, go to this stash. You can also, of course, do it like this, do it like this. I'm giving you a rough idea here. And then what I usually do is, like we talked about it in the video itself, this spawn is just not really worth checking. So what I usually do is I try to stay out of harm's way a little bit. Now, this can be a little bit tricky because, of course, this location right here is Crack House. It can get really heavy, and this is Fortress, which can both be very PvP heavy. If you're not hearing too many shots and not hearing too much fighting around here, it is a safe play to basically go around this way, sneak along this wall right here, and then we hit the bottom two stashes near the railroads. Obviously, you can also just move around here or whatever you want to do, but basically move this way, loot these two stashes, move up towards Old Gas, grab this, make sure that you grab the Giving Tree here as well, move around this way so that you can hit the little table that we talked about in the video with all of the random loot. And then potentially at this point your run could also already be done. You can have hit these stashes and Old Gas can be one of your extractions. So if you're nice and full on loot or you have good value in your bag, there's nothing wrong with leaving because you're only doing these runs to make money. So don't feel bad about that. Just get out if you feel like that. Now, if this is not your out, you're going to be moving further along this way. You can move into this building. We showed it in the video as well. There is some loot to be picked up in this building, so check that out. You can move through the front and check this hidden cache out. And then another one of your extractions possibly is going to be this place, which is I always mistake these two. It's ZB11 or it's ZB12. It's one of the two. But anyway, you can get out here if it is available. If it is not available, we're gonna keep moving on. You can choose, if you still need more loot, you can choose to go inside of this building. I showed you some of the spawns in there as well. Pick up stuff over there. You can then go this way. This is the building with the mannequin in it that has the roller on its wrist. So you can check that building if you want. You can move down here, get into this building. There's the dead scav on the couch right here that you can loot. You can loot the boxes that we showed in here. And then you can go this way, hit this building with the computers, and there's the stash outside. There's another stash in the corner right here, and there is an extract right here in the bottom. So that can potentially be one potential route. Now you can see that this route could be a really long one, but it can also be very short. You can just hit these stashes, boom, 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 get out at old gas, move up here, loot this building, get out here. This is when you're unlucky and none of the other options is available. You're going to have to do the entire trick, and you're going to be ending up here extracting. But you've had the possibility to loot more stashes and more buildings along the way. So this and that. Now let's talk about the more central spawns, like all of the ones that we have in this section of the, well, roughly the bottom section of the map here. Obviously, these two spawns and this spawn right here, they all go in Route 1 roughly, unless you want to do something else with that. And all of the bottom spawns right here, these are really good spawns, all of them, because they are relatively close to most of the hidden cache spawns. So what you can just do is, let's say that you're starting somewhere around here, is you pick up this stash, you go here, you pick up this stash, this one, move up here, go here, move all the way up to that one, pick up the stashes back here, that one. Then there's a little construction area right here that has some loot around it. You can move all the way back down to gas station and go pick up that one over here, move through the gas station, pick up the stash back there, and then of course the one here, and then go to the little bus area station, pick up all of these ones, because usually when you're spawning in this area, all of your extractions are going to be on this side of the map. You might have roadblock right here, you might have trailer house, you might have trailer park, you might have crossroads. All of those are going to be your outs. Now, of course, if you're at this point and you still, the vehicle extract at dorms right here is up, you can choose, of course, to sneak around dorms and try to get that if you have enough money with you. But let's assume that you don't have the money. Basically, from here on out, you can choose, if you're filled up on loot, which is very, very possible because you've hit a lot of stashes along the way here, you can just, you know, straight book it and get here. Maybe you have sniper hideout as a thing, or you can just go here and hit the extract at roadblock. Now, obviously, you can also just go here, hit these stashes up, and then go roadblock. Makes sense, right? And then, of course, if you're spawning all the way in this top side of the map, any of these spawns right here, you can basically do the same route as the second route that I showed you guys. And most of the time, your extracts are going to be on this side of the map again, unless it's, of course, vehicle, etc. So you can do something probably like this and hit these stashes along the way. Pick this one up, move here, get the little white car down here, and then you can of course go this way. You can pick all of this up, check that one, get that one, get that one, go here, check the ones in the back. This is basically the same route as I showed before, but in reverse. And then you just start making your way through these buildings for some loot. You can choose to hit any of these buildings for loot. Cross here, get that building, get this stash, and you can go back here. Most of the time when you're spawning up here, you probably will have old gas as one of your possible outs. So remember, check the little table in here, spawns everything. Check outside the giving tree, the hidden cache, and potentially get out over here. Or, of course, if this is not one of your outs, you're just going to keep trucking. You're going to hit this one. You're going to hit this one. And again, slide around this wall. Now, usually by the time, if you've spawned up here and you've followed this route roughly, or let's say you even didn't do the first part and you went straight for this part of the route, by the time you get here, there's a big chance that it's going to have cooled down. Like all the fighting probably happens early on in the raid, you're going to be hitting there late. Checking this building is probably not going to be useful because most people will just have hit it. So what I usually do is I just keep going. I usually have the roadblock here to get out, and if I'm feeling greedy or I still have some space left, I'll just pick up both of these and go to the roadblock as well. And there you have it. That is 3 rough routes. These, of course, they are rough drafts, but it's just to give you a rough idea of how you can pretty efficiently move from one cache to another. And then if you combine that with what I showed you in the video, you will also know that between these caches, there are some valuable spots to check for loot. And this should get you started on customs, comfortably looting and comfortably and efficiently moving from where you spawn towards where you have to extract and hitting the efficient spots in between. If this guide was useful, guys, please hit us with a like, leave a comment down below. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them down below or hit us up on the Twitch channel and come say hi over there. We'd love to meet you. Part 2 of the guide will be coming out next week. Next week, I will be showing you guys some loot spawns on woods to efficiently farm over there as well. But like I said earlier in the video, this video just got way too long, so we'll be doing that in part 2 of the looting guide. See you guys next week, and for now, bye-bye.